Is being new a bad thing? Especially when we are thinking about our new dental hygiene faculty members and how students are relating to them. In a time when we are seeing a rise of these faculty members retire, newer faculty are coming in. So, on this episode of RDH Coast to Coast, Tina and Kim discuss the impact of education and how educators play a role in the development of dental hygienists. So, friends, grab your headphones and listen in as we discuss the vital aspect of being a dental hygiene faculty member. So, Kim, I have this topic that came up as I was been talking with hygiene students, actually, kind of all around the nation. I've heard this a couple of times over the last few years, and because you are on the newer side of being a full-time faculty, I'm curious to tap your brain into this topic. But I've heard from some students in the past who are like, I feel like because I have this brand new teacher that I'm getting jilted on my education, that they don't know what they're doing and that I'm their guinea pig, all these different kinds of topics. So, Kim, you hear this as a new faculty person, what goes through your brain?
There's a lot, right? Just because a faculty member might be new, I would hope that they're not new to the profession, right?
Right. Well,
So
that you can't be, right? You have to at least be licensed.
you do have to be licensed. Yes. And I think you really have to have some background knowledge of hygiene and how to teach. So I think that goes into it. The other thing too is I'm lucky. I mean, I have a great mentor that is mentoring me as being a new faculty member, taking on a new course. She has helped me in every way possible by, being able to listen to her previously recorded lectures, answering questions, meeting with me, going above and beyond as she's also trying to teach a new course. So I feel like I'm lucky in that aspect. I also think this is a piece of their development as a hygienist. It's not the end all be all. After graduation, I just want to, I think the
Hold
biggest
on. So, you say that a piece of it, are you talking about the students' development of becoming a hygienist or the educator's development of being a hygienist?
The hygienist, right? You have to pass your boards and you have to be licensed and you have to become a hygienist, but the learning doesn't stop, right?
Correct.
It's really the learning starts after that. But what I was going to go into too is I think the boards is really going to show how these teachers are doing. Are these, if it's a lot of new faculty, are the students successful on the national boards?
Yeah. And I just will say that I go back and I've had this conversation with students and with new faculty, and I put myself right back into my very first time of being an educator, where it was me and 5 students I had never taught before. And I was in charge of teaching all of their hands-on stuff. Mm-hmm. And that, if I could go back now and talk to Tina, the brand new instructor, and to those new students, I would say, okay, you got students, I hope you know that she is staying up way past her bedtime and getting up very early to try to organize and be aware and go through all of this information to be the very best to teach you. And then to remind myself as that brand new instructor as well, is that, you're learning just as much as they are. And it's always kind of, in a way, it's great to see somebody struggle and grow and process through their struggles to help you see, oh, it is possible. I saw somebody else go from point A to point B, very chunky, it was all like, crawling through it, but you saw that they were able to do it. And it kind of goes, oh, okay, so I can see all the different little steps along the way on how to make that happen. And that just because an instructor or a faculty member is new doesn't mean that they don't care and have the passion and won't tap into resources to make the education worthwhile.
I agree. The amount of work that we put in on our side is just as much, if not more, as what the student is putting in. Not only are we being up to date on all of the knowledge that we're teaching, but we're taking educational methodology courses. We are diving into all aspects of teaching. We are really trying to be the best that we can so that they can be the best that they can.
Yeah.
I do think back to when I first started teaching like the hands-on clinic portion 8 years ago, and I probably maybe should apologize to those students because it was such a learning curve, right? You look back and you're like, ooh, I'm glad, but they all look back to and they say, no, you were great, you helped so much. But we grow and develop throughout the years just as much as anyone does in their career.
Yeah. And I think one of the other things too is that, especially if it's a newer faculty member, is nobody has ever experienced them as an instructor before. So they don't know, like, oh, what are his or her tests like, or what is his or her lecture style like? How strict are they on due dates? Or can we eat in the class? Does she laugh and joke around a lot? Just all those different kinds of things. It's this like blind dating and going into this relationship with this person that you don't know, on top of being very, very stressed out. Like, I can totally understand why a student would be like, oh my gosh, I have a brand new kind of a thing, right? And I think I'm going to say this too. I think it's really important for the students, when they're thinking about this, to know that they are going to be in that same position when they graduate and they get out into an office, and the patient's going to be like, so how long have you been doing this? And they're going to be like, oh, like, this is my first day on the job, or a week or a month, right? Right. And to remember that like, everybody's going to have their first. Everybody has to go through their first, and to give that grace, because they will be there in 18, 24, 36 months.
Exactly. And here's a question for you. Do you divulge the information that you are a new faculty, or that you're new to teaching, or you are new to teaching a course? Or do you just get up there confidently like you've done it 100 times?
Oh, so I've done it both ways. And I will say that when I go up and I will say, hey, I am not new to teaching. I've been doing this for, a while now, 15 plus years. But I'll say, but this is the first time that I'm teaching this topic. So you're going to see me referring to my notes, because I want to make sure that the information that I share with you is accurate. Also, I may not have all of the answers readily off the top of my head. So please ask your questions, because that helps me know how to develop this course better. Yeah. And just say, have grace with me as I go through and really think about the topic. Or, I work with two community colleges right now. And with one of them, I was like, you guys don't know me at all. And I'm only here just to teach this one class. And so please, have your doubts about who I am, reach out, ask me questions. If you don't understand something, let me know. And just to, like, I don't know, I just believe in transparency, because when I try to pretend that, oh yeah, totally.
Yep.
Yeah, that's when I sucked the biggest eggs.
And I take the same approach too. I couldn't agree more. I think it's word for word, basically what you just said is how I tackle it too.
Yeah. And I think that there's other people who are like, oh no, never let them see you sweat, kind of a thing. Yeah. But I don't know. I think that it's kind of nice to remember that everybody's human, and that like, you're as human as I am. So
yeah, exactly. And we're all striving for the best.
Oh, Kim, thank you very much. So for you as a first-time educator, any parting words for students who are experiencing first-time educators, or parting words for our fellow first-time educators out there?
I would say, see how it's going. Bring your concerns to the faculty, because if you have concerns and you don't express it, they're not going to know, and they're not going to try and help you along the way. And also just make sure that you're always prepared too.
Yeah. I agree. You have to advocate for yourself, whether you're a first time faculty member and you're like, oh my gosh, I need help. Is there another somebody on campus or another educator out there that I can reach out to get mentorship from? And if you're a student, advocate for yourself saying, hey, I am struggling with understanding this information. I know you presented on it, but do you have a different way, or are there other resources available? And, you just kind of have to go through that process.
Exactly.
All right, Kim, thank you very much. And you guys feel free to share your questions, your thoughts with us. All of these topics are coming from listeners just like you. So please join in the conversation. Okay. All right. So this is Kim and Tina saying, see you next time. Thank you to our sponsor, Dental Post, the nation's largest dental job board. Be sure to check them out for different types of employment resources. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to this podcast. And make sure you follow Tina and Kim on all the different social medias to learn other tips and tricks related to dentistry. Until next time, have a great day.